as third world nations get to that same second world nation statuses. Half the world lives on less than $2 per day, Clinton noted. I really believe that the definition of citizenship is being fundamentally altered by the level of interdependence that we have. Let me read that again. Tell me that's not a globalist statement. I really believe that the definition of citizenship is being fundamentally altered by the level of interdependence that we have. And what does Obama talk about in Invisible Empire? Oh, the fact that no world order can rise above another. The fact that we live in an interdependent world where borders no longer mean anything. Again, check out the flick if you have not seen it already. Here's another story. China revaluation would hurt U.S. And who's saying this? Oh, it's the World Bank's chief economist. So you're in the devil's den, and the little demon admits that a revaluation of the Chinese currency will hurt our already poor, our piss-poor economy. The chief economist of the World Bank said on Saturday that if China were to revalue its currency, it would actually hurt rather than help the U.S. economy. Speaking to students on China's role in the future global economy, Justin Yifu Lin said critics who claim a purposely undervalued Chinese currency is hampering U.S. growth are wrong. He acknowledged that if China stops selling renminbi and buying foreign currencies, the policy that critics say keeps the currency artificially undervalued, Chinese exports would become more expensive. But he said because most of the products China exported to the United States are labor-intensive goods, U.S. manufacturers stopped making years ago because they de-industrialized this nation through NAFTA and CAFTA. Okay? The U.S. would only have two choices: buy the products from other countries or from the Chinese. Either way, Lin said, the cost of those goods would rise, and the U.S. consumer would pick up the bill. All right, let's go back to your calls. 888-201-2244 is the number. Chris in Oklahoma. Chris, you're on the line.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, I have a Netflix account, tried to get your movie Invisible Empire, and they had told me that they hadn't released it yet.
You called what?
I called Netflix.
We shipped out the Netflix orders, I believe, on Friday. So that means within a week to a week and a half, Netflix will be shipping Invisible Empire. They finally put down the real order. We did ship them out. Although they were putting it available on the website, it said it wasn't available yet. But I do want to assure you, Chris, that it is coming to Netflix in the next couple of weeks. They just placed their initial order for the movie, so it will be coming.
Awesome. I also wanted to ask you about a website I had stumbled upon. It's pronounced Go. It's GOOH.com.
Okay. No, I've never heard of it. What does it have on it?
Okay, it actually stands for Get Out of Our House. It's basically taking an online petition to kick everybody out of office and replace them with common people like you or me, and give them a cap on how much they can make, kind of taking the greed out of everything.
Well, the bottom line is that the forefathers of this country initially said that special interest groups and corporate money had to stay out of government, but that has been taken away, and now special interest groups and lobbying organizations are really the backbone of this country, and that dovetails into this article that I wanted to read. I want to read that one too. Man, I have so many big articles that I really need to get to in the last hour. Flood of outside money hits the primaries. $9.6 million from independent groups spent on Arkansas race. And what people don't understand right now, I believe the last number was like 25 to 28 states no longer have the cash to hold their congressional or Senate or governor elections. They just don't have the money. So now these are going to be even further corporate-run elections. We already had the problems, and still do, with Diebold and other voting machines out there stealing elections for the elite, for the aristocracy, for corporate rule. But now it's going to become even more apparent. Check this out. Deep-pocketed unions, business groups, and others are spending heavily in this year's early primaries because there's no other money, folks, and they control the elections. It's now becoming more transparent than ever, including a staggering $9.6 million to influence a Democratic Senate race in Arkansas, adding volatility to a struggle to control Congress. that has already produced its share of surprises. The flood of money comes under campaign laws that bar coordination with the candidates and sometimes allow donors to hide their identity. So anonymous corporate entities are now running the elections out in the open. We need to go back to the original Constitution and Bill of Rights, where these people can't take money or jobs from special interest groups or lobbying organizations, where the money comes from the people, where the people have the power, where the people are the government, where the government has three branches that check and balance one another. We are so far away from that, folks. Outsiders can be left guessing about the true political objective, and already one organization has produced an ad that's drawn accusations of racism. According to the campaign professionals in both parties, these independent efforts can achieve their stated purpose or actually hinder the candidate they are designed to help. But the bottom line is that, again, independent, anonymous corporate entities are now out in the open running the elections, folks. That's the reality. I thank you for the call, Chris. Let's go to James in Pennsylvania. James, you're on the line.
Yeah, hi, Bermas. First off, Invisible Empire is great. I've already shown it to a bunch of people. They love it.
Oh, thank you.
Secondly, I wanted to talk about the Republican gubernatorial race up here in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Right now we have Tom Corbett, the Attorney General, running, and he's a favorite to win, but Sam Royer, the little lesser-known one, he's a real constitutional choice up here. And I'm pleading with all Republican Pennsylvanians up here, please vote for Sam on Tuesday. He's got states' rights. He led the 10th Amendment up here in Pennsylvania. He's defending our Second Amendment, and he wants to eliminate property taxes, and he's a libertarian choice up here, and we need everyone to turn out on Tuesday to vote for him.
Well, tell people where they can find out more information. Is there a website or something like that?
Yeah, samroyer.org. That's SAMROHRER.org. And I think votespa.com or .org. That's where you can find out more information on your polling station.
All right. Thank you so much for the call, James. We're going to continue to take your calls on the other side of this segment, 888-201-2244. But I want to hit some more of these news stories so we can get through them in the upcoming final hour. States joined in suit against healthcare reform. A national business lobbying group on Friday joined 20 U.S. states in a lawsuit challenging President Barack Obama's overhaul of the U.S. healthcare system. And we really need to see more states come out and say, yes, this is unconstitutional. This is the mafia coming in yet again, taking a portion of your paycheck and saying you will obey. The joint lawsuit, led by Florida and now grouping 20 states, was filed on March 23rd by mostly Republican attorney generals. It claims the sweeping reform of the $2.5 trillion U.S. healthcare system pushed through by the Democrats in the U.S. Congress after months of bitter partisan wrangling violates state government rights in the U.S. Constitution and will force massive new spending on a hard-pressed state government. Florida Attorney General Bill McCollum, who is seeking the Republican nomination to run as the Florida government, told a news conference in Tampa, an amended version of the lawsuit was filed on Friday in the U.S. District Court of Northern District of Florida. In addition to 7 states named in the original complaint, McCollum said plaintiffs in the lawsuit now included the National Federation of Independent Business. The NFIB describes itself as the leading association representing small U.S. businesses in America. And while I was home, I stopped by the local pizzeria I worked for a little bit under a decade, 7 or 8 years on and off. And I was talking to my old boss, Tino, of Tino's Pizza, and he couldn't believe that they passed this health care bill. And he said he had not looked into it, but his wife, who runs the finances, had seen how much money they were expecting them to put in. And he said, bottom line, if they really expect me to start putting this money in, I will be out of business within a year of doing so. I can't afford it. I don't make any money. I don't make the money I do anymore. Cash is out. See, they want the cashless society control grid so they can tax, trace, and database, as well as track what you're doing, but tax it as well. So there is no money that the government doesn't get to see. So they get the highest tax outcome they possibly can with their greedy little hands, and they just take it and take it and take more. And then they force you to do this unconstitutional health care, which will put your small business under. See, they're putting the small businesses under. They're putting the small nonprofit organizations under. How? By design. So this, again, another important article we cover today. States joined in suit against healthcare reform. In a little under 3 hours today, folks, we are going to cover more than the major networks, more important information than Fox News, than MSNBC and CNN combined. I promise you. Because I scoured those organizations for the hidden stories, for the ones that mattered, for the ones where the real headlines are in the 6th, 7th, and 8th paragraphs on page 3 and 4. More tech news. Ruling could have chilling effect on peer-to-peer services. And this is outlandish. I did not hear about this, but wait till you see this. A May 12th federal court ruling finding LimeWire and its founder, chairman, Mark Corton, liable for copyright infringement is the latest in a string of high-profile legal victories against companies and individuals who facilitate peer-to-peer file sharing. But its practical importance in squelching illegal downloading is much murkier because there is no practical importance. This should be against the law. This man created software